Hi Chickadees, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leana, this is Bunny. Okay, so Bunny's kind of tired. She's been filming for a while, so I'm giving her a break. This is her substitute. She'll be all right. We're getting into part 3 of Obsidian today. We are wrapping it up. I'm giving you the last bits of what Obsidian can do for you and bring into your life, honey. Boom! There she is. Look at her. Shiny, shimmering, sexy. Obsidian is amazing for protection. We already know she's going to help us look at ourselves more deeply. But what else does Obsidian do for us? Obsidian puts us in the right place to get in contact with our ancestral past. Yes, I said it, whether you believe in second lives or not, or whatever the case may be, Obsidian can get you in touch with the greater spirits that be, okay? Whether it's God or whatever you believe in, she's gonna get you in touch with all of that, and they're gonna help guide you down the path that you need to be getting down into. Okay, a lot of people use Obsidian for spiritual work, getting advice from spirits, their ancestors, and those kinds of things. If that is your thing, then you are welcome to use Obsidian for that. If not, then you can just focus on more of the personal rejuvenation aspects of Obsidian. She's going to heal you. She's going to keep you safe. She's going to bring you closer to your truer self. And that is what she's all about, protection and truth. Okay, so now part 3 of today. This story has, it's intense. It's taken a lot of energy out of me actually telling the story, more than I realized it would. It's crazy remembering everything, and I know it's crazier for Polly. So let's find out what happens to Polly. Let's find out if she ever became our roommate. Let's find out what happens to Max. And let's get into it today. Of course, before we get into the story, I have to go ahead and give you a few disclaimers. So the last thing we were talking about was Polly's situation on the couch with Max. One of the last couple of nights they were together, right? Or one of the last few instances they were together. So he pulls out the suitcase. He opens the suitcase. It's a gun. He takes the gun. He holds the gun. Whether or not it was pointed at her or not, we are unsure of, but the gun was out. It was spoken about, and he threatened her. He said, essentially, allegedly, and essentially, if you leave me, I will kill you. Ugh. Chills. So, of course at this point, Polly is freaking. She gets past that day. She survives. He doesn't harm her. I think he did. She said he allegedly swung her around at that point. But for the most part, that was the hiatus of the night. And then everything kind of calmed down after that point. After she agreed to stay with him. But then she's on her couch talking about she's leaving him. So she did make the decision. She was in the process of leaving him while she was on the couch with us and talking to us. So after she tells us all this, we're trying to comfort her. We're trying to make sure she's okay. She's crying. She's terrified. She's scared. We're bewildered as to what to do. We don't know. He's our friend, but she's our friend too now. And it's just a crazy mess, right? This is when he calls her on the phone because she's not responding to his texts, and he doesn't believe her that she's there with Sherry and I, right? So she answers the phone, and on the phone, I could hear him, and this is roughly what he said. I'm here outside. Get your bleepin' bleep, you stupid bleep, in the bleeping car, right? Bleeping now. That's what I heard from him. A lot of cussing at her, a lot of name calling. Of course, he called her stupid. He called her some other names out of her name that I'm not going to repeat. He said that, and she was scared. And at that point, she didn't want to anger him. any further. We didn't want her to go, but at the same time, it's her decision. She's a grown person. We can't force her to stay. She was more afraid that he would do something worse if she didn't go with him. So she made the elective decision to leave and go with him into the car. So she left us and went with him in the car, and he took her home. And we don't know what happened in the car from her getting home, from her leaving our place to going home. We don't know what happened to her. So that was essentially the end of that night. That is how that night ended. Now, so a few days later, Sherry gets in contact with her. She kind of basically, Polly lets us know that because of the seriousness of the situation and because of how scared she is and how much she likes us, she doesn't want to put us in jeopardy. So she decides that she decides not to be our roommate, and she doesn't want to bring that drama into our lives, that negative energy into our lives. She decided that she didn't want to be our roommate, and she didn't want him yelling and cussing outside of our house or doing any of those things. And so she decided not to be our roommate. And of course, like I said in the previous video, she was just getting diagnosed with a serious condition, and she was realizing that she wouldn't be able to stay in school without needing help from her parents. So she was already deciding to move back with her parents. So as far as we know, Sherry and I spoke with Sherry the other night, Sherry and Susie the other night, to kind of get some of my facts straight before I told you the story. And Sherry told me that last she knew, Polly went back home with her parents, and she's no longer with Max. She has nothing to do with him, and hopefully she's living a happier, healthier, safer life. Hopefully. Okay, let's send some love and Obsidian out to her. Okay, just send it. Please be happy. Please be safe. Please take care of yourself. Okay, so that is the end of Polly's story. Now, Max. Let's get into Max, you guys. Woo! So basically what Sherry told me, where Max is in his current state of living, he is married to another woman, and they are moving in together, or they already have a house together, and I think they're considering children or whatever the case may be, but they are married, they are living together, and physical features as Polly. So I find that interesting, but I guess, you know, everybody has their preferences. But if he is allegedly an abuser or predator, they can often have a tendency for, like a serial predator, they may have a tendency to go after the same kinds of types or shapes and sizes and ethnicities of people. They usually have a certain type that they follow through with, and she seems to kind of fit the type that Polly was. So I have not met this new woman. I do not know anything. Sherry does not know. Susie does not know. We do not know very much about her. And we don't know if she is going through the same things that Polly alleged against Max. We don't know. We pray that she's not, but there's no way to confirm. I saw a recent picture of him. He looks almost so different from how I remember him when I was going to school with him and when we were friends. I don't have any contact with Max. I don't even think he remembers me or knows anything about me. So this story is probably not going to get to him in any form of way or whatever, but even if it does, what's he going to do about it? You know, you come forward, then you're just admitting that you're Max. So I don't know what's going on in the situation or not with this new woman. I pray that it's nothing like that. I pray Max got the help that he needed. But as my friend Susie told me, she's a licensed therapist, in her professional opinion, she probably does not think that he has made any changes unless he's sought help for it. And she said that people usually in those predatory states of mind rarely ever change without serious intervention and help. And unlikely, based on his personality, from what we know of him, that he has changed. So it's very highly possible, if Polly was telling the truth, if all of her stuff was confirmed, and based on the phone call that I heard, I believe her, but it's all alleged, as I've said. If that is true, then it's possible that he is abusing his current wife. So, God bless her. I hope that's not the case. But, so, that being said, that ends the story of Polly and Max. Susie and Sherry and I, crazy coincidence that I happen to be pretty good friends. I thought pretty highly of this dude. Like, I mean, not like super like, oh, I worshipped him or anything like that. I just thought he was a funny, cool guy. You know, I was very, I was tricked just as much as maybe anyone could have been, to people that are really good at hiding their shadow selves from everyone. I hope everyone gets the help that they need. Lord have mercy. Anyway, so that's the end of the story, but I wanted to go ahead. I had a conversation with my therapist friend, and she gave me a little advice, because I asked her, you know, what did Sherry and I make the right decision that night, like not to call the cops, not to do something further. And basically Susie told us that you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped, essentially. So if Polly was not ready to leave Max, and if she was not ready to seek help, then you can't force it, because oftentimes if you physically get involved in those kinds of things, like calling the cops, what'll happen is sometimes the cops will show up, the guy or the girl, if they're the abuser, they'll kind of schmooze the cops because they're very charismatic, right? They're hiding their shadow selves. They're really good at this, and they'll be very dominant, so they'll take control of the conversation, and the cops will leave because they don't have any maybe physical evidence that something went down or not. They were just going off of a hunch or a anonymous phone call or whatever the case. So they have to leave because they can't just take them in for nothing, especially if the girl is not confirming that there's abuse being done, and she's too afraid to come forward. And so if she's not willing to come forward and press charges, there's nothing that you can do, even if he is a monster. If that is the case, he or she is a monster abuser. There's nothing you can do unless the victim is willing to stand up and say, no, this is enough, you know? So she said the best you can do is provide a safe place for this person to come to you and speak to you about their problems. Just listen to them, be a friend to them, and if they're ready, offer them resources and professional resources that can help them get through these situations when they want to, not before that, because they have to take power back for themselves. And anything short of that can just make things worse or make them want to go back to the abuser even after they've been rescued. So you have to let them decide for themselves. That is the key point that she wanted to get across to me. And that's the key point I want to get across to you. If you are going through something like that, please be strong. Get a little obsidian in your life, girl or guy, or whatever you choose to identify as, whoever you choose to identify as, whoever you choose to identify with. Please get the help that you need. You're not alone by any means. And I'm sure there are people in your life that do care about you. I don't know you, but I love you. I care for you, and I want what's best for you, okay? Check out those links in the description. If you are going through something serious like this, do not do it alone. You do not have to. Do not feel like you have to just because you're alone. You have no other means. These sources are professionals. They deal with cases like this 100 times over. They know what they're doing. They will get you where you need to go, hun. They will take care of you, okay? If you're ready, when you are ready, you must make the decision for yourself. No one else, unfortunately, can do it for you. Okay, that's my soapbox spiel. That's the end of the story. This has been a crazy journey for me. I mean, Obsidian, she takes you there, honey. Look at her shiny. She's trying to show you the truth in her reflective surfaces. Thank you again for tuning into my channel, everyone. Make sure you check back every Friday for a new video that I will have for you. I'm kind of wearing the next crystal on my list if you kind of paid attention. It's a hint, little Easter egg for you. I guess it's not so much an Easter egg if I say it, is it? Anyway, make sure you click that like button and that subscribe button so you can get this all day, okay, maybe not all day, but every Friday you're gonna get it. And that's what I'm talking about. Let's love each other. Let's keep each other safe. Obsidian's gonna help you out with that, sis. Look at her shiny. She's so shiny. All right, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bunny.